The Fox Virginia News at 10 is next. Tonight, Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin gave the State of the Commonwealth address today. This as lawmakers want to tackle some key issues. We have the details.
Plus a day of recovery after rainy weather, but there are still closed roads as the ground continues to dry out. We've got a breakdown of what you need to know.
And we sat down with the new executive director of the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA as she takes over. We have the exclusive story. It's 10 o'clock. Time for your Fox Virginia News.
Now, Fox Virginia News at 10.
Well, good evening and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Alexia Williams.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. We'll come back to those stories in just a moment, but first, here's Travis with your Fastcast.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Breezy conditions made it feel a little chillier than thermometers indicated, but we did reach lower 50s this afternoon and a chance to dry out from yesterday's soaker with a decent amount of sunshine. Right now, 30s for a good chunk of the area, 40 degrees at Show, 35 in downtown Charlottesville, 34 degrees in Waynesboro, Culpeper and Madison with 37 degrees in Louisa. Temperatures at or below freezing across parts of the Shenandoah Valley. Clouds that were stubborn this evening now finally moving out of here. That clearing process will continue. I'm looking for a low of around 30 degrees in Charlottesville tonight. Outlying areas could be as cold as the middle 20s. And then for Thursday, it's going to be nice. Sunshine all day long. Very few, if any, clouds and an afternoon high of 56 degrees. If you like days like this, they're very few and far between in the next 7 days because our active weather pattern will continue. There's more rain coming. I'll tell you when in just a few minutes.
All right, Travis, thank you. Our top story at 10, Governor Glenn Youngkin delivering his State of the Commonwealth address today.
He gave the address on the first day of the General Assembly session. Fox Virginia's Garrett Whitten is live in the studio and has more. Garrett.
Yeah, Alexia and Ashley, today is the start of the 2024 legislative session in Virginia's General Assembly, a 60-day work period that's supposed to end with a new 2-year state budget. Lawmakers are set to tackle a host of issues this year, including gun control, education, and criminal justice reform.
The state of our Commonwealth is strong.
Governor Glenn Youngkin delivering his State of the Commonwealth speech to the newly elected General Assembly.
All because the collective spirit of Virginia has been strengthened.
Wednesday marks the beginning of the 2024 legislative session in Virginia's General Assembly. Lawmakers are expected to address a number of critical issues over the 60-day period, such as gun control, criminal justice reform, and education. Youngkin addressed these topics in his speech.
Allow us to hold accountable those criminals that commit crimes with guns by lengthening and making more severe the penalties in order to keep them off the streets.
The Democrats hold the House and the Senate. Over the session, lawmakers like Kathy Tran, chair of the Virginia House Democratic Caucus, will be discussing and voting on legislation that may play a role in making communities safer.
We're not working to take anybody's guns away. Many of us up here are gun owners. And just like Virginians across the Commonwealth, we want to make sure that everyone who owns a gun is using and storing it and their ammunition responsibly, and that we're keeping dangerous weapons out of the hands of those who intend to do harm.
Education is another hot topic for this session.
We funded record amounts in education. We reestablished expectations of excellence.
Despite the governor's assertion, Senate Democrats think more money needs to be put into education. Democrat Senator Scott Survell says Virginia spends 14% less than the national average on K through 12.
And it's one critical reason that underscores why any of these discussions about tax cuts are completely unrealistic, because we are not funding government at the level and our core education services at the level that Virginians expect us to. And that's going to be a huge priority for us this session.
Both the speech and the session comes shortly after Youngkin announced his budget plan, which calls for income tax cuts and an increase in a state sales tax. In the studio, Garrett Whitten, Fox Virginia News.
All right, Garrett, thank you for that report tonight. Well, Central Virginia taking the day to dry out, and it's sorely needed. There are still dozens of roads closed due to high water. Last night, 2 people had to be rescued from floodwaters in Albemarle County. At least 45 roads were closed due to flooding in the area. Sharon Ketchum from VDOT says crews are keeping an eye on the roads, but if you see water, don't drive through it.
These are a lot of roadways to close, but that has to do with the fact that we got so much rain yesterday on top of an already saturated ground.
To roads being underwater, it doesn't take much for it to become dangerous.
So generally, when we start talking about moving water, about 6 inches is enough to move a person that might be trying to walk through it. 12 inches is enough. 12 inches is enough to pick up a vehicle, a car, and start to float it away. We start to look at 24 inches as being possible to move an SUV or a pickup truck. So really the recommendation is for you not to drive through that water.
Good information there, and the water has been slowly receding throughout much of the day, and roads are continuing to dry out and reopen.
Meanwhile, in Scottsville, crews working through the night to keep the town from flooding.
Our Fox Virginia's Gretchen Stinger spoke with the volunteers working long hours to keep those waters at bay.
Scottsville Volunteer Fire Department has been working tirelessly since Tuesday night to drain water from Mint Creek, this creek right here behind me, back into the James River to keep Scottsville from flooding. Now, officials with the Volunteer Fire Department tell me what that process looks like.
This is where the Caterpillar motors are housed.
Michael Carr's been with the Scottsville Volunteer Fire Department since he was 16. So he knows this process inside and out.
And these are the things that keep Scottsville safe.
Carr explains they started pumping water Tuesday night at 11, pumping every 45 minutes.
I'm gonna cut 2 on now, there's 3, so we'll be flowing around just under 40,000 gallons a minute. It was predicted just to crest around 12 foot. At 11 o'clock last night, it was 14 foot, and then early this morning, it crested around 17.5 feet.
Overnight into Wednesday, they pumped over 5 million gallons of water into the James River.
We're actually pumping Mint Creek that runs through the town behind like the brewery and the Bateau. We're pumping that water out back into the James River. So if you don't pump the water, you can kind of see it's kind of becoming like a pool right now. And so that water gets nasty and it gets backed up. And so as we start pumping, you'll see the water start to recede. And if you don't pump it for right now, as it doesn't have a really good path flow back to the river, it can get backed up and start, creating havoc in the town.
Before they started pumping, he says it wasn't good.
There was a lot of flooding up near the Dollar General coming into Scottsville. There was a large pool of water there.
The department believes they will be pumping until around 6 a.m. Thursday morning. In Scottsville, Gretchen Stinger, Fox Virginia News.
The Red Cross is seeing the lowest turnout of blood donors in over 20 years, and they're making a plea for more donations. Bill Brent with the Red Cross says that more people are eligible to donate now than they were 20 years ago. So he's asking people to check on their eligibility. And he says that right now demand is much higher than the supply that they have.
If everybody that could give blood gave just one time a year, there would never be a blood shortage. But if we can get those folks who give blood at least once a year to give twice a year, that helps.
And the Broadcasters for Blood Drive is all day on Monday at the Doubletree Hotel right off of Route 29. And anyone who donates on Monday and throughout all of January will be entered in to win 2 Super Bowl tickets. So that's one reason right there, other than obviously giving back.
That's right.
To hopefully get more blood donations.
That's right.
So that's awesome. Well, it's been a year since the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA was rocked by allegations of animal mistreatment and mismanagement of their employees.
This week, a new executive director takes the reins. Fox Virginia's Felicity Taylor sat down exclusively with Libby Jones to hear what her plans are.
Libby Jones is focused on communication. Even though we didn't necessarily do anything to lose the trust, we do want to make sure that we acknowledge and commit to making sure we learn from it.
Last year, the CASPCA faced accusations of mismanagement and animal mistreatment, which resulted in the ouster of their CEO. Jones, who has years of experience in the animal welfare industry, says it's time to tackle the current problems.
Shelters are a good litmus test when the economy is starting to go down. We start seeing a rise of surrender requests for resources, more animals needing to come to the shelter.
She says her first priority as director is making a 5-year strategic plan.
We're working with focus groups and community conversations to be able to build out a strategic plan that is going to help support our community, our team, as well as the animals well into the future.
Jones says to continue their life-saving work, employee morale needs to be up again, and it is.
I've really focused on them. We've focused on how can we help help make the work more ergonomic? How can we support them?
She says they'll evaluate the future of any volunteers who left in the last year, case by case. Felicity Taylor, Fox Virginia News.
And Jones is starting her dialogue with the community. She started that today. She had her first public appearance at the Senior Statesman Forum this afternoon.
A shocking appearance by Hunter Biden at the congressional hearing,
which is about possible contempt charges against him. We'll have details after your local weather authority forecast. Travis.
Brief break in the active weather pattern, but overall, more storm systems on the way. Some rain, maybe some snow showers. All the latest for you after this.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
We begin with a time lapse from Madison on the JES Skyline Network cam. Sunshine this morning, got a little cloud cover mixing in for the afternoon, but wasn't totally overcast. It was a breezy day though, some wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour or more. It's taken a while, but we're slowly scouring out the clouds. This HD satellite loop shows the last of the clouds now leaving the Route 15 corridor. And I do think around midnight, everybody in Central Virginia will be clear, and certainly the winds have calmed down quite a bit. In fact, we are calm in terms of winds outside our Briarwood studio, as well as up the road at the airport. 36 atop Carter Mountain, 39 at our studio, 40 at Show, and at last check, 37 degrees in downtown Charlottesville. No measurable rain since midnight this morning. Hot Springs, 27. Usual suspects being colder at elevation. Fredericksburg and D.C., lower 40s. Melfa, 43. Martinsville, over 3 inches of rain yesterday. Current temperature of 27. This dotted black line, for all intents and purposes, think of it as just a disturbance that's promoting clouds, and that's what moved through today, giving us our clouds. And now with it off to the east, we clear the sky. High pressure takes control, and tomorrow should be a pretty nice day. Your lows overnight ranging from the mid-20s to lower 30s. We're at 49 degrees at noontime in Charlottesville, 55 degrees and sunny at 4 p.m. Our temperatures overall nearly 10 degrees above seasonal normals. And if you like these milder temperatures, this is as mild as it will get for the next 7 days. This time next week, totally different story. Skies mostly clear on Thursday. We're clear Thursday night. And then clouds will gradually thicken Friday morning as our next storm system rolls in. Now, I think most of us will be dry until the afternoon drive. Don't blink. Pay attention to how many yellows, oranges, and reds you're about to see. Yep, another soaker coming, friends. Another 1 inch of rain, 1.5 inches of rain. It's all long gone by 7 a.m. on Saturday. The weekend, a little breezy but dry both days, highs in the middle to upper 40s. And then we get to Monday, Tuesday, more rain showers, maybe some snow showers. We'll talk about that at length coming up the next half hour. Low temperatures tonight under mostly clear skies. Mid-20s in Louisa, around 30 in Charlottesville, Livingston, Crozet at 28, and then sunshine tomorrow. Unseasonably mild, for lack of a better term. High temperatures around 56 in Charlottesville, 57 in Orange, 58 in Dillon and Madison. Your high tomorrow, 54. Cardinal Home Center, extended forecast. You got rain Friday evening into very early hours of Saturday. Some of that rain can be heavy at times. Breezy through Saturday afternoon. Mid-40s on Sunday. Mainly rain on Monday evening, although as temperatures drop overnight and the moisture lingers into Tuesday morning, there could be some snow showers. Too early to tell if we'll get any accumulation. But the big takeaway in the extended, aside from a couple snow showers, look at the temperatures. Yeah. Highs, mid to upper 30s, overnight lows in the teens. Oof. It's going to be a lot colder next week. It's going to feel like January, in case you've been wondering when it's going to feel like January. There you go.
Oh boy.
Gosh, I mean, I've been preparing for it mentally, but
we've known it's been coming. Trying to dress warmer, wearing our sweater vests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the warmer clothing has been broken in a while and you're getting use out of it, so you're prepared for next week.
I put all my summer stuff away, so
there you go.
I'm ready.
A one-season forecast.
Right. Thank you, Travis.
Yep.
Across the nation now, a shocking appearance by Hunter Biden at a congressional hearing about possible contempt charges against him.
Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram is on Capitol Hill with the story.
Lawmakers were shocked at Hunter Biden's audacity, surfacing before the Oversight Committee after defying a subpoena for a December closed-door interview. Hunter wants a public hearing. He spoke with Fox outside the committee room.
Mr. Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Does he call you?
Yes.
Answer the phone?
Yes. Okay. But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
The House Oversight Committee met to slap Hunter Biden with contempt of Congress after he defied a subpoena for closed-door testimony.
You are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of?
But as wild as it was for Hunter Biden to show up, it was mayhem when he left after 20 minutes.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women.
Democrats said the committee should have granted Hunter the floor.
Let him comply. Let him do it today. Let him do it tomorrow. But let the man do it.
But Republicans reminded members he was supposed to be here last month.
Never have I seen a witness show up when they want to show up on any sort of thing to say, hey, I'm here to speak on what I want to speak about. That is not how Congress works.
Hunter Biden's attorney accused the GOP of trying to advance their impeachment investigation of the president.
Republicans have sought to use him as a surrogate to attack his father, a tactic that the Republicans have repeatedly misused in their political crusade.
The full House won't vote on contempt until next week. Then it's up to the Justice Department to prosecute. The DOJ prosecuted former Trump aide Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro for contempt of Congress, but not Mark Meadows and Dan Scavino. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
California one step closer to banning tackle football for preteens. A new bill focusing on reducing the risk of brain injury by banning tackle football for children under the age of 12. Clearing its first hurdle today after a legislative committee voted on a measure allowing that bill to be considered by the California State Assembly. Opponents of that bill say that it would cut off kids from an important source of physical activity. Both sides of the argument making their cases heard today in Sacramento.
Those repetitive head injuries are damaging to the brains of young children. And they don't see it when they're 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're thinking about the love of the game, which is, it's very exciting and thrilling.
Now, if the bill is passed, it will not take effect until 2026.
You're watching Fox Virginia News at 10. Thanks to you, the #1 rated 10 p.m. newscast in Central Virginia.
Welcome back. It's 10:30. I'm Alexia Williams.
And I'm Ashley Brooks. You're watching the Fox Virginia News at 10. Let's go ahead and check in with our chief meteorologist, Travis Koshko.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Seasonable temperatures today after yesterday's gloom fest, although we needed the rain, and we did actually end up warmer yesterday. At least temperatures last night were warmer than our highs this afternoon. Let's just get to some numbers. It's more fun. 51 your actual high today at Show. Normal high this time of year, 47 degrees. Wasn't incredibly cold this morning. Most places waking up in the lower to middle 40s. Right now, more numbers. Yay. 39 in Charlottesville, Palmyra 33, 34 Madison, 32 in Syria, Piney River at 33. You got nearly 4 inches of rain yesterday down there in Piney River. And Mineral, good evening. You're 35 degrees. Tomorrow, waking up with upper 20s and lower 30s around sunrise. We're just shy of 50 degrees midday in Charlottesville. High temperature 56 and lots of sunshine in store. But sunshine, yeah, we got some sunny days ahead of us. Warm days, not so much. More rain on the way. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Travis, for that. Well, we're counting down to this year's Emmy Awards, January 15th on Fox, with a closer look at this year's nominees.
Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a recap of limited anthology series Going for the Gold.
From road rage to the 70s rock and roll stage, here are Emmy nominees for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. What are you doing? Netflix's Beef won Best Limited Series at the Golden Globes. And Ali Wong and Stephen Yeun made history with their acting wins. Now it's on to the Emmys, where the show is also nominated for Best Limited Series for its standout story of two strangers whose chaotic connection starts with a road rage incident.
What is that smell?
The streamer's Dahmer monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story starring Evan Peters is up for the award. It's the first installment of Ryan Murphy's anthology series.
It's about dreaming of something different.
Prime Video's book-to-TV Daisy Jones and the Six is a contender. Cast members playing the fictional 70s music stars include Riley Keough, Sam Claflin, and Suki Waterhouse.
I did not become a doctor to get rich, okay? I did it to live a meaningful life.
FX's Fleischman is in trouble with Jesse Eisenberg, Lizzie Kaplan, and Claire Danes joins them. The show is about a recent divorcee whose ex-wife disappears, leaving him with their kids as he navigates returning to the dating world and figuring out what happened in their marriage.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Rounding out the category is Disney Plus Star Wars adventure Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You can't run Obi-Wan! You can't escape him!
All go for Emmys Gold at the 75th anniversary show, January 15th on Fox. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Skies will continue to clear overnight as a weak disturbance moves to the east. Your temperatures will end up in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Now, the rain we had on Tuesday, most of it happened after the 8 a.m. cutoff, so it will not count towards tomorrow morning's state drought monitor. But the rain we had this past Saturday, nearly 1 inch plus about a ½ inch worth early Tuesday morning, that will count. So as it stands right now, we're still abnormally dry, moderate to severe drought conditions across central Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley. I do expect a little bit of improvement. And by next Thursday, I expect a lot of improvement given most of the rain we had this past Tuesday, as well as maybe some rain Friday night, as well as next Monday and the Tuesday. Very wet pattern continuing, very active pattern in the atmosphere. Mostly sunny on Thursday. Crozet, your high 54, 56 in Charlottesville, Arvonia at 57, 57 for Orange and Gordonsville, Standardsville 55, Culpeper 55, 57 for Bremo Bluff, Zion Crossroads, Bumpus at 58, Lake Monticello 56. Valley commuters, you got lower 50s tomorrow for Stanton, Waynesboro, and Harrisonburg. Monterey at 48 degrees. Air quality should be fine. No concerns with pollens or smoke or particulates or anything to hinder healthy breathing. Dotted black line, what we call a trough. All you need to know, it's what's providing the clouds. That's moving through. It's getting out of here. Low pressure in the Midwest, moving north. So we're not going to have anything to deal with until late Friday into Saturday. This storm system in Northern California is what will zip through our area. Pretty confident we'll get something Friday night, maybe over 1 inch of rain, and then next Monday night into Tuesday morning, some rain and snow showers. Forecast rainfall possibly over 1 inch area wide here as we close out the work week on top of what we just had. So maybe some more flooding with which to be concerned. Normal high this time of year, 47 degrees. We're above that for the next couple of days, below average Sunday, Monday, and then the floor falls through on temperatures, Alexia and Ashley, with highs only in the mid to upper 30s next Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Travis. Health Check now. An alarming new report by the New England Journal of Medicine. Researchers found that drug overdoses are now the third leading cause of death in kids under the age of 19 in America.
Fox News national correspondent Brian Yennis has this story.
Just lit up a room when he walked into it. If you were fortunate enough to get him to talk, he couldn't stop.
Madison Gerchow's 17-year-old brother Xavier died of fentanyl poisoning when he inadvertently took a counterfeit pill laced with a deadly synthetic opioid.
He was out with his friends playing basketball. He was sore, so him and his friend decided to split a Percocet. And the Percocet ended up being 1% cocaine and 99% fentanyl. So there was zero trace of Percocet whatsoever.
About 22 high school kids, enough to fill a classroom, died every week in 2022 from drug overdoses nationwide, an all-time high, according to a new study published in the New England Journal of Medicine.
We've actually reached a point where overdose deaths are now the third leading cause of death in teenagers across the United States.
More than 1,100 teens ages 14 to 18 years old died from overdoses. At least 75% of the deaths were the result of fentanyl poisonings, mostly through counterfeit pills.
Fewer teens than ever are actively using drugs, and yet more teens than ever are dying. And that's because drug use isn't becoming more common, it's becoming more dangerous.
Researchers recommend parents discuss the dangers of counterfeit pills, emphasize staying drug-free, but also risk reduction for those experimenting, and have naloxone, the overdose reversal medicine, available. The study finding Arizona, Colorado, and Washington had the highest overdose death rates. Maricopa County, Arizona, and Los Angeles County, California had the most fatal overdoses. CBP says they seized a record amount of fentanyl nationwide in 2023. 99% came from our southern border. In New York, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
Families are getting smaller and will continue to shrink for years to come. A new study reveals a significant transformation in family dynamics, projecting a steep decline in the number of relatives each person will have in the near future. For example, in 1950, a 65-year-old woman had on average 41 living relatives. But by 2095, this number is expected to drop to just 25.
This shift, according to researchers in Germany, will also alter the structure of families, leading to fewer younger relatives like cousins, nieces, nephews, and grandchildren, while the number of older relatives like grandparents and great-grandparents is set to rise significantly. This decrease in family size is critical in the context of an aging population. Smaller families mean fewer younger relatives to provide care for the older generation. Well, first were nominee announcements for the Emmys. Now on to the Screen Actors Guild.
We have the list of SAG nominees. Don't worry, we've got the latest. Stay with us.
Demand for mortgages jumped by nearly 20% after the holiday period. The Mortgage Bankers Association says buyers were playing catch up after the holiday season. Applications for home buying and refinancing both increased, even though the average for a 30-year fixed rate rose 6.81% the week ending January 5th, up slightly from the week before.
Interest rates are still a big question mark, but they are undoubtedly lower now than they were when they were very close to 8% in late October and early November. So even though they ticked up a little bit relative to that high point, mortgage rates are still low. And it takes some time for home shoppers or even those considering a refinance to find out that mortgage rates are lower, to make the plans to move forward with buying or refinancing. So there is a bit of a delay between when mortgage rates drop and when we see that activity reflected in the housing market.
And the housing market cooled rapidly in the wake of the Fed's aggressive tightening campaign. Policymakers lifted the benchmark federal funds rate 11 consecutive times over the past 2 years.
In Hollywood Nation, award season continues for the nominees of the Screen Actors Guild Awards. They were announced this morning from Hollywood.
Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
It's been quite the year.
SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher kicked off Screen Actors Guild Awards nominations, a celebration after a year with a historic Hollywood strike.
This is the best day ever.
Barbie and Oppenheimer lead in film with 4 nods each, including Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. Joining them are American Fiction, The Color Purple, and Killers of the Flower Moon. Barbie's Margot Robbie is up for Female Lead Actor, along with Naiads Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro's Carey Mulligan, and Poor Things' Emma Stone. Oppenheimer's Cillian Murphy is in Lead Male Actor, with Maestro's Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, The Holdovers' Paul Giamatti, and Jeffrey Wright of American Fiction.
I'm going to build something bigger.
In TV, Succession leads with 5, including Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series. Fellow nominees are The Crown, The Gilded Age, The Last of Us, and The Morning Show. Individual nods go to Succession's Brian Cox, Kieran Culkin, Matthew McFadden, and Sarah Snook. The Morning Show's Billy Crudup and Jennifer Aniston. The Last of Us stars Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. The Crown's Elizabeth Debicki and Kerry Russell as The Diplomat.
Get this party started.
Ensembles in comedy nominated are Abbott Elementary, Barry, The Bear, Only Murders in the Building, and Ted Lasso. Standout kudos go to Ted Lasso's Hannah Waddingham, Jason Sudeikis, and Brett Goldstein. The Bears' Iowa Debris, Jeremy Allen White, and Eben Moss-Backrack. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels, Alex Borstein, and Rachel Brosnahan. Abbott star Quinta Brunson, and Barry, Bill Hader. The 30th anniversary SAG Awards stream live on Netflix February 24th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, get ready for Thin Mints, Tagalongs, and Samoas. Girl Scout cookie season is here, and I am ready for it. This is the year to settle back into the tried and true favorites. And there are no new cookies this season, though. And in fact, the Girl Scouts are taking away the Raspberry Rally. That's unfortunate.
Okay, that was last year's new cookie, and it's been discontinued. Sorry. No matter what your preference is, though, get ready to open your wallet. The price of a box is going up from $5 to $6. Online orders will start shipping next month, but if you know a Girl Scout, you might be able to get yours sooner because they love to set up around town.
That they do. I used to be a former Girl Scout. There you go.
Just don't touch the Thin Mints.
Oh, yeah, those are Travis's only.
The Thin Mints. Sunshine, 56 on Thursday. Gradually getting cooler into the weekend. Maybe another inch plus of rain Friday night. Possibly some rain showers and snow showers Monday night into Tuesday morning, but those daytime highs next week in the 30s. Chilly times are coming.
Very active forecast for the next few days. All right, Travis, thank you for that, and thank you all so much for watching your Fox Virginia News at 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow.